While making small talk at the holiday party of a family friend, I spoke to an elderly magician about sobriety, mine. He had many questions. Leaving alcohol was easy. Giving up coffee proves to be a much more challenging and sadder feat. I love the ritual, the smell and taste, but the truth couldn't be ignored. It makes me feel crazy and hurt my stomach. A ritual shifting. Green tea feels much better to both my body and mind. I also love returning to mugs after drinking iced coffee for so long. My current go-to is a green speckled ceramic mug a close friend made. Receiving gifts is the lowest of my love languages, but the idea of someone creating for me, knitting something out of nothing, molding clay, is an act so beautiful it makes me want to weep. A realization that my appreciation for these gifts correlates to my number one love language of quality time. Not a gift card or a package shipped from a faraway place, those are fine, but rather a thoughtful and intentional present that took time and effort and creative output. There is both the time it took to make the item and now the time I will spend with the gift, the mug that I now sip out of daily. There's also uniqueness, a possessive aspect to these presents. No one else has this exact thing. The same friend knit me a fuzzy chocolate brown scarf in our teens. I left it at a Thai restaurant, and out of all the things I've lost throughout the years, it is the one that sticks with me. That friend and I had a mini road trip a few weeks ago. We stayed one night with our uncle who lives in a horse town in South Carolina and has 3 dogs, a stunning Grand Pyrenees with soulful eyes, an equally cute but less charismatic Pyrenees lab mix, and an elderly dachshund with a snaggletooth, twisted snout, and iridescent cataracts. As we got to North Florida, I found myself allured by the different, to me, flora and fauna. It is often the first thing I notice when I get to a new setting. In this case, it was an instant appreciation for the Spanish moss, romantic, humid, flowy, and the fallen fronds of the tall palm trees. It is the thesis and draw of all travel, the reminder that it can be different. January can look like this or this. We meet the owner of a piercing shop, a 42-year-old vaping grandmother who told us the story of her high school boyfriend who died by suicide. She was laughing as she told the story. We laughed too, but it then felt odd after. A worker with 3 different ringtones came to fix the smoke detector. Every few minutes, a new sound would emerge from his phone. Maybe he was differentiating work and pleasure. He may use a different sound for each of his primary contacts. It reminded me to change my ringtone, something I do every few months to keep things interesting despite my phone always being on silent. The country and the courts debate over TikTok as a bathroom attendant at south of the border is watching a live on the app as she cleaned. It is of 2 girls fighting, but with words. The beauty of technology is in the new ways of connecting, but you also have to be careful. A bit down the line, you may realize that you are never truly alone with your thoughts, that the mere idea of silence is terrifying. I remember when my brother studied abroad in Italy around 2010. We used to plan a Skype call to talk and felt so gracious for even a few moments of grainy, sound-delayed video chatting. The same brother now lives in Spain and he talks to us every day. The sound is crisp and the communication constant. I know what his hike looked like this morning and he has to block our group chat on nights when the Commanders play so he can watch the recap in ignorance the next day. A few weeks ago, I was in bed. It was snowy and frigid. I thought of how lovely it would be if you could start your car from the inside. But then I thought of the possible danger, all the insurance implications, and decided that it was likely not to happen soon. Later the same week, I was hanging out with friends, the same snow stubbornly on the ground, and as we were preparing to leave, one announces that she's going to start her car. She does so with a button on an app. Not only does the thing I was dreaming of exist, but it is so accessible that my friend has it. I used ChatGPT to draft a difficult conversation with a different friend. It felt like I was operating in the future, and I couldn't decide if it was good or bad or neutral.